why BPM? And so for those of you who may be considering the BPM space, or those who are just starting, so you probably can relate to this question. So as we essentially interview basically most of the leaders of our company, some things that they wanted as any type of process improvement, they wanted a methodology. They wanted consistency, how we approach certain things, even though we understand even through this conference that the phenomenon of the unstructured process. The demands were pretty consistent throughout the organization. They wanted continuous improvement. They wanted a ton of automation and workflow. They wanted to be able to see their process and some of them just wanted to discover their process. And so they understood the value of process. What they didn't understand is how to address the challenge moving forward. And then, the symptoms. And so, this was the part where after a while I could probably complete most people's sentences. It was all the process unknowns. The fact that they were managing areas of the company that they really didn't have true visibility to make some really good decisions, or at least make the opportunity to make better decisions. The story of the email burden, of being able to manage your business process through Microsoft Outlook was just a recurring theme. Effective, got the job done, but it was pretty obvious that there was a better way. And of course, the almighty performance breakdown and rework it. So it was really interesting. Some areas of our low-hanging fruit is that we had repeatable processes of just continuous breakdowns, and people thought the breakdown was part of the process. And so it was that classic case where BPM was beginning to emerge, and our technology and our discipline within our organization was not up to the test by itself, which is why we decided to explore business process management. The reason why we chose new product launch, and essentially that was our first major challenge, to see if Appian BPM had any staying power in terms of being able to solve one of the hardest areas and challenging areas of our company. And before BPM moved in, that area was essentially delivering about 300 to 400 products a year, and now we're about to 800.
And one of the questions that people have asked is what's the engagement and involvement of both the business side and the IT side throughout the life cycle of the Appian implementation. And one of the things that we quickly realized, and just based upon all the tasks, that there's very few that are levered on one side versus the other. And that it is a very collaborative process. We're about a 2,800 employee organization, with a third of those employees being in technology. Our spend in technology is about 90% of the overall spend for our organization. So we are a very heavily technology-driven organization. We're very familiar with the different types of methodologies between Six Sigma, Agile, but going through this implementation was very different than our typical development lifecycle process. And one of the things that we realized is that without the constant collaboration between John's team, the rest of the business, and the developers, that there's no way that we would have had any kind of success throughout the entire project implementation.
And one thing that we realized very quickly, once you deploy your first process, the feedback that comes back is not really predominantly break fix, it's how to make the process even better. And so you get this continuous stream of enhancements that need to go in order to keep the business satisfied. And so it's a very impactful experience, and it's really continuous improvement becomes a true reality in the way you work. That's all we have, and I want to thank everyone.